Thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Ariel. I am a PMM here on the Data Factory team, and joining me today is Shireen.
Hi everyone, my name is Shireen and I'm a PM here at Microsoft in the data integration team, specifically working in mirroring.
Awesome. So a question we get a lot on our side is if you've already invested years into getting your BI data right, do you have to start over again to power an AI agent? And the short answer there is no. If your data is already in OneLake, an agent can ground that on the same data, live, governed, and with its lineage intact. Let's start with something that's really common, data sitting in Snowflake. Shireen, can you show us how that lands in OneLake?
Yeah, of course. So before I get into that, with Microsoft Fabric, we're not just talking about connecting data. We're showing how you can mirror external data from sources like Oracle, Google BigQuery, Snowflake, SharePoint as well. So as you mentioned, Ariel, let's get started. So here I am specifically in Snowflake, and as you can see, I have a test permissions database that I have, and I have a few tables associated with it. And if I want to dive deeper into what the table looks like, I can look at the customers table specifically, and I can see there are many rows, many columns. So now let's go into Fabric and bring this data directly in. So I'll go ahead and click New Item, and directly from here, I can see all of my sources, whether they're in Preview or GA, directly over here. So in this case, as Ariel mentioned, we'll go ahead and bring in some Snowflake data. So I'll go ahead and look at the mirrored Snowflake item. And directly from here, what happens is that I have the ability to create a connection from anywhere. So in this case, I can create a new source or use an existing one. So in this case, I'll use an existing source that I've already connected to. And yeah, there you go. Immediately after, I can see all the databases that I have access to. So in this case, I will go ahead and bring that test permissions database one that we saw in Snowflake. And I'll go ahead and click Next. And directly from here, after a few seconds, I'll see all the tables on the left-hand side. And then right over here, I can see all of my tables. So let's look at that same customers table that I saw in Snowflake. And there you go. There are my columns, my rows, exactly how I saw it before. And in this case, I have another option as well where I can mirror future tables too. So that means I can mirror any new tables that come in or get deleted from my source system directly. In this case, I'll go ahead and uncheck it because that's not really important. From here, I'll just give it a name, and that's it. I'll go ahead and create that mirror database. So what's happening in the back end, right? What is going on is that it's connecting to my source system, which is Snowflake in this case. It's getting all of my changes, and particularly in this first sync, it takes a bit of time because it's getting an initial sync because that data can have gigabytes, petabytes of data directly sitting in Snowflake. So this might take a bit of time, but that's completely normal. After that, any additions, any DDL changes, inserts, updates, deletes will all be reflected in that near real-time scenario. Okay, skipping ahead, I already brought that data into Fabric. And as you can see over here, all of my 10 tables are right over here. They're running, the rows replicated are showing up over here as well. So if I go to my SQL Analytics endpoint, let's quickly see how this data gets replicated over. Over here, I can see this new specific column on the left-hand side, and I can see all my categories, all the tables associated with it. And if I want to dive deeper, I can see that same customers table directly over here. And Ariel, this is not where it actually ends, right? As I was mentioning before, we can bring data from many different sources outside of our systems as well. And as you can see, I have everything from GBQ, Google BigQuery, SharePoint, Oracle, directly sitting in that same database warehouse. And the nice thing also is that I can do a cross-database query as well. So I'll bring up this SQL query directly over here. And basically what I'm doing is I'm getting the total price for my Oracle database for all the orders. And I'm joining that with my retail Google BigQuery data as well. And in just a few seconds, I can see that full database, cross-database query has been executed, and I can see there is about $206 billion worth of data that we see between the two tables. So this is not where it just ends. We can bring data from all different sources directly into Fabric and use this in one single scenario, because that is a common, question that we ask a lot from, many different customers.
Awesome. So now all of that data is in OneLake. It's staying up to date. You don't need to create another copy. You don't need to kick off a whole new ETL project. And from there, you can go straight to building on top of it. Can you walk us through how you can spin up a Fabric data agent or leverage AI on top of this data now that it's sitting in OneLake?
Yes, of course. So a lot of customers, like what you mentioned, Ariel, is that they ask for chatting with the data directly and getting instant answers. So the nice thing about this is that I can go back into Fabric and go back to that same new item creation page. In this case, I can go to Data Agent, and there you go. That's where it is. And I can go ahead and give it a name. So in this case, I'll just call it Zava ERP Insights, and I'll go ahead and create it. Okay, so skipping ahead, I can already see that my data is already over here. So I brought in my Google BigQuery data, my Oracle data, my mirrored GBQ data as well. And I can also add different data directly into here too. So I've only brought in 3 different data, but if I wanted to bring in that Snowflake data as well, I can do that directly over here too. And there you go. Within a few seconds, I can see all of my data directly over here. So in this case, I can see my Oracle data and the tables that I've chosen to bring in. I can also see specifically my Snowflake data directly over here too. And if I wanted to include this into my data agent and ask questions on top of it, I could always select and unselect these tables too. So let's get started and see what actually I can ask questions about. So the first question I'll go ahead and ask is if I can review the sentiment for each review based on the ratings and comments column in my Oracle database. And then on top of that, can I summarize the historical trends year by year that we were seeing? So what it's going to be doing in the back end, it's going to be analyzing exactly what I just prompted, right? So this will take a bit of time, but after, a few seconds, what you're going to end up seeing is an actual full graph of what actually just happened. And there you go. The data agent not only answers the question, but it also shows the exact SQL query it ran. So as I can see over here, I have a beautiful graph view of what actually happened based on the reviews, the positives for every single year, the negatives, the neutrals. And if I scroll down as well, I can see that exact SQL code that has actually been generated too. Another question which I can ask is which category received the most amount of negative reviews? And once again, in a few seconds, the agent will respond. Okay, and there you go. So as we can see, the electronics category received the most amount of negative reviews with close to 1.1 million. And I can also take a look at the SQL code again over here too, and there you go. And Ariel, with Fabric, you can mirror all your cross-cloud databases into one single lake in Fabric and instantly use the data agent to ask questions, answer questions, get insights, and act on your data in one unified experience.
I think that's the most exciting part is that you don't need to build your own AI data stack. It's all here with mirroring and OneLake, and now you can reason with it upon it with AI. It's so exciting. Shireen, thank you so much for walking us through that. This was lovely, and I really appreciate your time.
Of course, thank you so much.